We're looking at TradingView.com charts, and in this section we'll look at splitting the charts using two charts side by side. This is fairly basic. We just start with one chart. Oh, that's a bit of a mess, but anyway, it's just one chart. We just click on this option here, and I can change it to showing a split view. And from there, I could then change the chart type. I could edit it as if it were two independent charts. When you save the chart, it's saving both the left and right at the same time within the same chart. It's easy to lose one of these because, here I go, down the bottom right there, little X symbol. If I click on that, it maximizes that chart, and now I'm only seeing the second one. So that can get a bit confusing because there really is another one in there. So that's how you minimize and maximize the chart. And you can also minimize and maximize any indicators down the bottom section. So if I double click on there, double clicking on any section will maximize that chart. You can synchronize the two charts. So if I take this chart, split it into two, and on the left, I'm going to change that. So click on the left chart. I'm going to make that look at Bitcoin on the Bitfinex exchange. And if I click on the right-hand chart, I'm going to make it look at Bitcoin on a different exchange. So what I'm seeing here is the same coin. It's both Bitcoin, but it's at two different coin exchanges. And what we're seeing is the price here is slightly different. It's out by maybe 0.5%, due to some local differences. So it could be that people, for some reason, are buying and selling a bit more actively on this one exchange. Now, the key thing to look out for is Bitfinex is the largest exchange in the world. It's 4 times larger than Binance. And price changes on Binance that differ from Bitfinex will tend to come back into line. So you could think of Bitfinex being the largest exchange, shows really the more truer market value. When this price gets out of sync with that, it will tend to be dragged back into alignment with this. Now the problem though is it's actually difficult to compare because the price axis is different. So you can see 9,000 is pretty much at the same point on both charts, but down the bottom here, that same point represents 8,200 on the left, but only 8,000 on the right. So you need to be careful. You have to play around with the axis to get them aligning the same. One way that I do that is drop a horizontal line. So Alt-H, drop a horizontal line. I'm going to put that at 9,000. I'll do the same on the right-hand chart. So Alt-H to add a line, 9,000. I'll do the same at 8,000 as well. You can either press Alt-H or you can also use this option, horizontal line. Double click on that, change it to 8,000. So now we can see we've got the 9,000 and 8,000 lines on both charts. I just now need to play around with this. I'm either scrolling up and down here, drag with the mouse, or I'm dragging the middle. And basically I just have to play around with this until I get these both aligned nearly there. That's pretty close. That's close enough. And now we'll see the prices are a bit closer matched. So if you align them carefully like this, you can monitor the two exchanges. And the main reason I use this is if I'm looking at buying or selling on Binance, if I've seen a change in the price trend direction, I might want to compare that to Bitfinex to verify that the price has really changed and it's not just a local temporary change that is going to swing back around the other way that I don't want it to go. So you'll often find this on the major psychological lines. So at 8,000 there, we might find, for example, that the price stops here at Bitfinex. It bounced off 8,000 and went up. Whereas over here, it went through, punched through the 8,000, but then it's off on its doing its own thing. And because this really is the true market price, I knew that that would bounce back up into alignment with Bitfinex. Now later on it did actually punch through on both sides, so on both exchanges it did punch through, but really this little effort here was a bit of a false breakthrough. It was basically getting ahead of itself. And sometimes you might find that, for example, it bounces off the line and goes back up, whereas on the right hand side it breaks through, but I know that it's not going to drop down. I know it's going to go back up because that's what the major exchange is doing. So you just compare the price on the two exchanges.